These are the snubs that helped launch the Oscars So White social media campaign.
I know he ain't leave me on purpose. I'm proud to be a Creed.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 actors of color who were snubbed at the Oscars. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're focusing on non-white actors and actresses who didn't win an Academy Award for a certain role, but probably should have. We're still considering it a snub if they were nominated but didn't take home the golden statuette.
You right. You absolutely right.
Number 10. Will Smith, Concussion.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
With an impressive lineup of actors and a highly controversial topic, this movie garnered high expectations. Unfortunately, the reviews were lukewarm. Even so, most critics felt that Will Smith delivered a noteworthy performance.
Need is not weak. Need is need.
While it may not have been enough to carry the sports drama to box office supremacy, the fact that he wasn't even considered for an Oscar still drew some attention, prompting calls for a boycott of that year's Academy Award ceremony. Smith himself has voiced that his Oscars boycott was not about his own role in Concussion, but about the general lack of diversity in Hollywood.
In America in general, a regression towards separatism and racial and religious exclusion.
With a performance that required the actor to stretch, and not just with regards to his accent, this snub had people talking.
You are in America now, so you have to be the best version of yourself.
Number 9. Tessa Thompson, Creed.
I'm not saying you're square or anything, but I'm just curious, what made you want to fight?
Though it could have been a very straightforward love interest role, Tessa Thompson's performance opposite Michael B. Jordan was anything but typical. The character stood apart from Jordan's as an individual with her own dreams, which isn't always the case for secondary parts.
I always knew what happened eventually, so my plan has always just been to do what I love for as long as I can.
Unfortunately, despite her stellar work, Thompson was one of many notable names missing from the Oscar nominations list that prompted the revival of the Oscars So White debate. Fortunately, since she starred in movies like Dear White People and Selma, we know that Thompson is not one to shy away from tough subjects and even tougher characters, which is probably why she's made it clear that her snub motivated her rather than discouraged her.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm a little nervous. It's just a lot of people here, not really my crowd, you know?
Yeah, I can see.
Number 8. Jason Mitchell, Straight Outta Compton.
Y'all got any idea why I asked y'all to wear all black tonight? Because we are all-star group.
Critics were blown away by Mitchell's performance as rapper Eazy-E, putting his name on the map. And the critics weren't the only ones impressed. Co-star Paul Giamatti praised Mitchell as well, saying he brought a certain something special to his work that not even the more experienced people he's worked with have managed.
I'm in subliminal, otherwise known as a villain, because I'm ruthless. When I spot a sucker, I kill him.
That's one of the reasons it was such a surprise when his performance was snubbed by the Oscars, something that became a much talked about topic online. With a confident director and a solid cast, this film piled up a staggering number of positive reviews, but just one Oscar nod for Best Original Screenplay. Still, Mitchell said he didn't feel robbed, and that he's basically just happy to be part of the conversation.
They want NWA? Let's give them NWA.
Number 7. Greene, Dances with Wolves. It's rare that there are roles for Indigenous people in Hollywood. It's even more rare that an Indigenous actor gets nominated for an Academy Award. So, when Canadian First Nations actor Greene was cast as Native American Kicking Bird in Dances with Wolves, the role could have easily been reduced to a stereotypical, even unnoticeable character. Greene's performance, however, completely brought the character to life, making this figure a man of complexity and depth.
The
film garnered many accolades from the Academy, including 7 wins, and a nomination for Greene's portrayal of Kicking Bird. Even though he didn't win, his performance was one of the first in American film to portray Indigenous people in a more well-rounded way.
And my wife said, "What happened?" I went, "Holy." And she says, "What?" And I said, "I was just nominated for an Oscar." She said, "Oh, sure you were. Come on, let's go to work."
Number 6. David Oyelowo, Selma.
We're not asking, we're demanding. Give us the vote!
Although Selma was one of the best-reviewed movies of the year, David Oyelowo did not receive a Best Actor nomination for his performance as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. While the film itself did score a Best Picture nod, it was only recognized in one other category. These snubs particularly troubled Oyelowo at the time because he felt the film sent a powerful message about a powerful figure.
Those that have gone before us say, no more, no more.
Online discussion groups mostly agreed, greeting the snub of Oyelowo's performance with disbelief. Fortunately, there was a silver lining to the situation. Brad Pitt was apparently so mad about Oyelowo's snub that Pitt advocated for Nightingale to HBO, which was a project the Selma actor had been trying to get distributed.
I see now that my whole life is pointed to this moment.
What do you mean he's not coming?
Number 5. Michael B. Jordan, Creed.
Okay, let me finish. I gotta prove it.
Jordan took on this emotional whirlwind of a role in this sequel and held his own next to Sylvester Stallone, who has extensive experience with playing the legendary Rocky.
Like every punch I ever thrown has been on my own. Nobody showed me how to do this.
Despite the buzz surrounding the film's many snubs, Jordan was supportive of Stallone's nomination. But according to Sly himself, his performance would have been nothing without Jordan. And as a result, Stallone was ready to boycott that year's Oscar ceremony.
You taught me how to fight again, and I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna fight this thing. But if I fight, I want you to fight too.
Jordan's performance in Creed was hailed by many critics as solid, and the actor did receive many accolades for his work. The Academy, however, overlooked Jordan's contributions to the film, not even nominating him. Number 4. Sidney Poitier, In the Heat of the Night.
Why can't you look at this one? Why can't you look at it for yourself? Because I'm not an expert.
After Sidney Poitier won an Oscar for Lilies of the Field, he starred in multiple critically acclaimed, race-conscious films, including In the Heat of the Night, which garnered 7 Oscar nominations and 5 wins.
There's white time in jail and there's colored time in jail. The worst kind of time you can do is colored time.
However, none of these Oscar accolades recognize Poitier's performance. Years after doing the film, Poitier claimed that he had only agreed to play the role of Detective Virgil Tibbs if he could reciprocate the famous slap his character receives from a white plantation owner. Filmed at the height of the civil rights movement, this film and Poitier himself were at the forefront when it came to giving American film a new way of looking at Black Americans. But it didn't win him Oscar gold this time.
You're making a mistake.
Number 3. Will Sampson, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Will Sampson's performance as Chief Bromden in this film is truly art, offering depth and dimension to the story. And funnily enough, Sampson got the role almost by kismet. The production team had been looking for a chief for some time, and even though he'd never acted before, Sampson won the team over immediately. While the role called for little dialogue, Sampson was still able to subtly develop his character throughout the film. Sampson was also one of the first to break the typically shady Native American stereotypes seen to that point.
There was a beginning to see an ownership over these very stereotypes. So suddenly the fact that Will Sampson plays the stoic Indian in the way he did in that movie, in some ways reclaims that character for our people.
And throughout his career, he remained true to his ambition of delivering cultural authenticity to American film. But he did so without an Academy Award.
That gun was let you out.
Number 2. Samuel L. Jackson, Pulp Fiction.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Despite being nominated as a supporting actor in this film, Jackson delivers such solid work that some critics have said he could arguably be dubbed a co-lead alongside John Travolta.
And what do they call it?
They call it Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese.
Not only does his performance as Jules help carry the film, the character does change and develop by the end of the story as well, a trait usually reserved for lead roles.
Funny, I was thinking the same thing.
Tarantino wrote this role specifically for Jackson. And to this day, Sam still has fans and peers alike recognizing him as the timeless character, and quoting his famous lines back to him.
And you will know I am the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon you.
With with the film winning a breathtaking number of awards. This role was one of the first to solidify Jackson's place as an Oscar-worthy actor, and yet no Oscar.
Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, mother. Say what one more goddamn time.
Before we unveil our number one pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Alright, stop what you're doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. I look funny, but yo, I'm making money.
I had to fight my daddy, I had to fight my uncles, I had to fight my brothers. Girl, child ain't safe in the family means.
Number 1. Idris Elba, Beasts of No Nation.
But you, I will always protect you, Agu, because you are my son.
One of the bigger snubs in recent film history goes to Idris Elba, riveting in the role of the Commandant. He is the first actor to win a SAG award without even receiving an Oscar nomination, let alone winning the coveted statuette.
Striker, untie him.
An article in the Huffington Post argued that people of color usually only win Oscars for films that include many white celebrities, which supposedly boosts a movie's so-called star quality.
All of you that have never been listened to before and have seen your family killed, you now have something that stands for you.
While Beasts of No Nation is made up of a largely black cast, there is no lack of stardom where Elba is concerned. Delivering a powerhouse performance and praised for his versatility as an actor, Elba's snub, as well as the film itself, received the most internet discussion for missed nominations.
Just remember, when you are all poor and hungry, you remember me.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.